This is a public service announcement. This is a public service announcement. What you're about to listen to may make you yell, shout, smile, and even laugh out loud. Youth baseball players, coaches, and fans join the S.L.I.D.E podcast crew on their journey to make baseball fun again. Hear stories from players of all ages, plus tips and tricks from coaches and scouts. Now, if you're ready, give us a loud play ball.
Welcome to the S.L.I.D.E podcast, all of them. I am Aaron, and we're experiencing some new technology tonight. So apologize if there's technical difficulties, but hey, hang in with us, and you may laugh at us a few times. So I'm Aaron. I'm joined tonight with Coach Jenn and Coach Allie. How are you, ladies?
Doing great. Good as always.
Yeah, you're getting ready for Cooperstown?
Don't remind me. It's barely summer weather. I gotta root on my Lakers tonight. All right, we gotta get the Mamba going. So
who are they playing tonight?
What are we in Denver?
Okay, well I'm gonna have to pull for the Nuggets. I just can't pull. I just can't pull for LeBron right now. I just have to pull against him.
Look, I'm not like a big basketball fan, but sports in LA, gotta love it. Gotta rep it. And it's hot today, so the tank top, I gotta throw that at you. I'm sorry.
That's messed up because it was cold and rainy here today. So
it wasn't that bad. Yeah, it was definitely rainy, but like we're still better off than any Canadians I can think of. So
yeah, there's a fire down there. It's cold over here, and I'm stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
And so that's our guest tonight. So we're joined tonight with Mental Game Academy's Larissa Mills. So Larissa has joined us and going to tell us some about the cool programs that the Mental Game Academy has to offer. So Larissa, we'll start with you and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the Mental Game Academy, because we've all experienced, I think, a lot of the topics we're going to talk about tonight. And I know we're excited. So floor is yours.
Thank you. How much of the floor? No, just kidding.
All of it.
No, we, as a coach, I started to see several issues going on in my athletes years ago, prior to the introduction of the cell phone. And a lot of my work is done on how children's behavior has changed, because that changes how you need to coach them.
Right.
It changes how we need to train them. It changes how we have to maneuver our talk and our dialogue to reach this new child who has been on a phone 16,000 hours by 16 years old. So my background is in psychology, sociological behavior, and then I went back to school, and NAGRU is where I went, and I did a master's in science of education, but a lot of that course was focused on neuroscience. So how our brain wires and what wires us, and how are we learning? And right now with phones, there's not much going into our long-term memory. So when you're coaching kids and you ask them to do step 1 of drill, step 2 of drill, step 3 of drill, 4, they're like, what was 1 again? I can't remember 3 and 4. And you're repeating yourself a lot more as a coach now. Yep. I started to see other things, like they weren't as fit. They weren't able to run as far. Their endurance was out. They were not focusing. They were moody. I'm like, why are you going for your phone? And this is back in 2003 when the first little phones came out, and 2006 and 7 started to creep up. And I'm like, what's going on? Why are you guys all moody? It's 5 a.m. Get on the water. We're rowing. Let's go.
You make it sound like 2003 is a long time ago. Is it really that long ago?
Yeah.
I guess so.
20 years ago.
Holy crap.
Technology in 20 years.
Right. Mm-hmm. So here's where we're at, but here's where we can't stay. So we created these programs, mental skills, to fill the gaps in which technology has filled for the kids. Right. Okay. So we wonder why kids are changing, and they're moody and they're tired, and they don't know what to do in a situation, and they're very impulsive. Today, they're going to be more impulsive. So they're going to react, and they're going to say things that have no filters, because they don't have the filter that they would have had 20 years ago. So it's kind of interesting, right? So our programs, we have mental skills assessments for the kids. We have programs for our heavy duty programs are for grade 6 and up. We have Olympic athletes, we have professional athletes, we're partnered with many different professional teams. But my favorite is like the 14, 15, 16, because I'm very concerned. And I think you guys can definitely confirm this. We see in Canada and in several other European countries a drop off at 13 in sports. So we go along, they're staying in sports, and then boom, 70% drop out. So you're a much larger country than us. So when we go to have our Olympic teams, there's our bottomed out faster than your bottom. So for instance, if we're looking at 10,000 kids going up to soccer, but by 13 now we have 5. You guys would have 30.
Sure. Right?
So then our numbers, and this is across many countries, that this is affecting, not so much in Europe, which is very interesting because it's a cultural thing. They don't have phones in schools. They don't have phones at practice. They're very nurtured on the family first. It's very interesting. So we have these programs that are great. They reduce phone time for athletes. We get the athletes, we educate them. Actually, we don't say that you're going to stop being on your phones. We actually don't tell them that. We actually go through exercises about how their brain reacts to phones and what your brain does inside and your nervous system. And it's actually more physical than you think it actually is when you learn about it. And then they're like, okay, yeah, I'll do my routines. I'm good. And then they just start to go on their phones at regimented times during the day instead of random use, which is like tapping your dopamine and cortisol button 25 times an hour. And then you wonder why you're revving your nervous system and your heart rate's going and your adrenaline's going and your dopamine's going. You wonder why we can't calm. And we can never work as an athlete or high pressure coach in the rev state without being reactionary. So really, we're like all these revved up nervous system out there, revved up. And that's why you're seeing so many more fights between parents and coaches. There was 2 the other day, and one led to a death in, I think it was Philadelphia and one in Chicago. We're seeing a lot more inner fights between teams and athletes. So we're really seeing a lot more escalation in behavior, and we're not going to see a change until we all go back and sort of reset those values. So that's kind of what our programs do, and we consult. So long story short, we're there to sort of revolutionize that.
And honestly, I feel like as an adult, I need some of that.
I know. I'm sitting here thinking totally she's talking to me. Like I own my own business. So all of our marketing, all of our, our outreach is via social media. So I find myself I'll have a thought come across my mind, and it's like, check your phone for that. And then another thought will come through. Well, you can check your phone for that. It's so bad, but
and there's ways
I don't know how
to streamline that back to your computer and use Canva to do all of your social media stuff 1 hour a week. So I help social media people to stop checking their phone by putting everything back. Like I had a person come over to my house and say, I don't want to check my phone. I want to use something that shows me how, and I didn't know anything, but I knew that I'd lost 20 pounds and I was missing my kids' stuff 20 years ago. And I'm like, I was running 2 businesses. I'm like, okay, this phone's great. This is allowing me to do so much, but I was missing my kids' stuff at school, an appointment. And this is not the mom values and how my husband and I wanted to raise children. So we looked back at our value system and we put the phones away. We don't have them out at dinner. The kids do not have phones. Our athletes do not have phones in their rooms. We actually asked the parents, sign a contract. They put an alarm clock in their room. Phones stay out, or a control app on it that shuts it off an hour before bed. And I tell you, how do you think they even react to that? What do you think?
They're probably upset at first.
Some, but the parents love it.
Oh, the parents, I'm sure love it.
Yeah, the parents. The parents are 100%. They love our course. Like they love it for their kid. They just don't. They want to do something. They just don't know how to do it. But all our medical evidence based is in our courses, and all of our research is medically based. So we get a lot of our information from 4 of the top pediatric associations, because I like to be I'm very scientifically based anyway. But I wanted to have the credibility behind our program so that other doctors would support it.
Yeah, that's the buy-in that you're going to get. So I'm a physical therapist, and if it doesn't have research to back it up, I'm not using it. So same thing. I mean, if you can't prove it to me, if I can't put my hands on it and read it over and over and over, and you prove yourself over and over and over, then I'm going to have less likelihood to believe you. But I'm interested to take a look at your website and see, as a parent of a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
We don't allow either of them to have electronics during the week, only on the weekends.
Good for you. That's a great tool that we recommend to people. That's great.
And my 4th grader has had straight A's for the last 2 years. So I think that it's having an impact on him. But what that leads to,
you watch in the next year or two, your kids will do it. What's happening now is the undistractable kids who are not glued to tech, they are excelling past their grades.
And he does
socially, and they can talk to adults. They'll be the first ones to get jobs.
What?
They'll be because they can socially handle.
Socialize.
Yeah.
And because emotional intelligence, we teach that in our courses. So one of the things that we teach is self-regulation, self-awareness, and social skills and empathy. Kids today have less empathy than they did 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
All they care about is like what's in here. And that's not all kids, okay? It's not all kids. It's a high proportion that's growing every year. Let's look at that math.
So let me ask you. Yeah, we really do. But what that leads to in my household is you barely see him on the weekends. If we don't have something going on, which of course we all go do as a family, or if we have people over, he has to be downstairs. But when there's any downtime, he's on, the gaming system or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, well, he needs to be downstairs engaging with us, but we've told him, why don't you keep straight A's?
Isn't going to hurt. But beyond that, all of a sudden now they're like, what phones do on a long-term basis or gaming, if you will, puts our brains into shut off.
Mm-hmm.
It actually makes us delayed. Like if you look at the studies in children that are 4 years old, they have the lowest speech, lowest word verbiage and sentence structure than they've ever seen in our generation. So they can't even, we call it the 5 C's. So more children can't control themselves. They can't communicate. They can't, they're not coordinated. They can't concentrate or control their emotions. So we see this happening more and more, and it's happening younger and younger and younger. I mean, I saw a baby who knew how to scroll the other day. He was 8 months old.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And here are athletes
just watching
their social media after the games or before. I'm like, no, we actually don't recommend checking any social media before any type of practices or games because what are you going to see on it?
Well, generally nothing positive.
70% of the time, nothing positive.
Yeah.
And I think they compare themselves to people that they see because everything is
all the time
Hollywood, and you only see the good parts. They're not going to put the bad parts on there.
Nobody advertises the bad
they're
stuff.
not going to put their girdles on and what they would look like without makeup and all the guys without their hair plugs in and stuff like that. Like it's not right. So, but it's hard for a young brain to say, oh, I'm confident, so I can look at all of this online and I know how to interpret what, oh, she's not eating. Okay, I won't eat. Okay. I'm not strong and buff like him, so I don't feel good about myself. So the social media is designed for you to click on things that your brain will connect with. And then all of a sudden now it's all you look at. And then you wonder why my athletes come in with such self-doubt, lack of confidence, fear of failure, fear of making mistakes. But we go from fear mode and we get them within 12 weeks to go beast mode. And that's what we want. We want them to feel, okay, Coach Mills, you're good. Okay, I'm good. I'm going to go try this. Okay, we're good. Yeah, go. And they feel all of a sudden I get these phone calls, which I really wish I would let go to voicemail, but I don't. I'll be like, I totally used reset in a game and I made mistakes, but I went back and I got the puck and I did this, and they're screaming. They're like, I loved it. And that's a triumph.
Yeah, it is.
And to hear their voice on my phone is, that's the best thing. That's the best thing. I wish I should let them go to voicemail or what I
that's
so
commercials.
I can just hear it over and over again.
Well, so at what age do the studies show where phones are starting to affect kids? At what age do we have research that
there's early under 4? There's
really?
even 2 years old studies from American, Australian, British. Now, I can't read the Finnish, but I looked at the translation and I still couldn't figure it out. But a lot of data comes out of China, actually, as well. There's so much out there that we can see that it's actually you can see that it's mostly medical in younger children. So headaches, tummy aches, eye aches, and eye issues. So a lot of ophthalmologists are like, take them away. Take them all away because I've never seen these eye issues unless they're like 80-year-old people, and they're now in 4-year-olds.
Wow.
Because they're just watching, and they're doing this thing called tracking, and you can even see babies and young kids like doing like the scroll thumb head bob. Yeah. And I can see it in classes when I go in, because our programs go into schools as well, into curriculum, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of that. And everyone wants it for the sports, and that's great too, because I don't care if you get it doubled. You need more of it, right? And then we also teach parents we actually have courses for the parents to learn how to teach these mental skills at home. Like, do you know how to self-talk? Do you know what mantras are? Do you know that if we replaced 35 minutes to an hour a day with the mental practice, your child's confidence grows in 8 weeks? Now imagine what that athlete will do after 8 weeks, going beast mode. And I don't care if I'm okay, whatever, next shift, next bat, next. And that's where that professional mindset comes in, and they start thinking, and it's in the past, gone, next whistle. And it becomes automatic that they're hungry for the next opportunity. And that's what you want. Wow. Instead of, I can't go to the bat, I'm nervous. And we talk about, in younger kids, it's about butterflies, right? They have the nervous tummy. And so we get them to say a nervous tummy is actually good. A nervous tummy means 2 things. A, you love what you do. Yeah. You love what you do and you want to be good at it. Those are good things. Did you know that butterflies are also excitement? And we talk differently to younger children, and we have different handouts and sort of worksheets that we use for them. And they really like being able to, like, you control your tummy. Did you know that with your head? And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, it's a superpower. See? So imagine your butterflies, and they all look, and imagine you float them in a triangle off to third base. There they go. Take a breath and start again. And it's called the reset. Yeah. So resetting your brain to take a breath, lower your heart rate. And then all of a sudden it's in 30 seconds, you're all right, I'm good. And it takes a few weeks. It comes, right?
Those are the people that are going to be not only superior athletes, but better able to control their anger when, yes. Like just in life, when they're married and with kids.
Well, these are life skills. These are corporate skills.
Totally.
These all are they're overlapping executive functioning skills.
And I talked to Colton about that too. My son, I'm like, he'll want to give up after one day or just be a little bit late for something. And I'm like, when you get a job, is your boss going to be okay with that? And so trying to put those little skills together that, we need to be a little bit better than the next guy.
Right. And this is just a program that gives them literally about 100 different tips and strategies in 12 weeks or 12 hours, or sometimes we do 12 weeks across a whole season. Like we spread it out every other week, or maybe an elite team wants us to come down and we'll do an ID camp or a showcase or something like that. We'll do the intensive prep for that. So we do a lot of that, and we're in with NCAA teams as well. So we're really, I don't know how, but we're really growing, and it's crazy because it's awesome, but also we need more help, which is a great place to be in growth, right?
Well, that's because technology continues to give us ways to, handicap ourselves more times than not.
That's a good word. I'm going to use that word. Thank you for that word.
Yeah, no problem. Alexa. Alexa's amazing. What that does is it keeps me in my chair because I don't have to get up and cut my light off.
We tried it, and no.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, my husband's like, because we were like, we just couldn't. I couldn't function with it. It just added another edge of revving to me.
Yeah.
So, and laziness. And I'm like, okay, this is not good for my waistline or my brain. So I wanted the kids to communicate with me, not that thing.
Right. Exactly.
So and this is the thing. Just because we have it, do we need to use it, or are we just used to it now?
Yep. Allie, I know you've been like itching to talk up there. Go ahead.
So
Lakers.
I run a girls nonprofit baseball organization, and obviously, thank you, girls in baseball. That's being on the lower end of the norm right there, battling a lot that they have to. Yes. We're taking a girls 12U team to Cooperstown in 9 to 10 weeks ish.
Wow.
And that's what we're seeing is bringing these girls together. Their play elevates on the field, but we do have some that start to get mental when they get in there because they might not be as good, or maybe one strikeout against the boys, or they start hearing parents talk. I mean, how do you deal with that at someone who's 12?
There's actually, it's a complex answer for you. They need a lot of self-talk, positive reinforcement at home on a body positive chart, how they are, and they need to know. Actually, the most evidence that I've seen through my pilots and my projects have been helping them to know who they are, what they want to change themselves, because then if others note it, they don't give a crap. And where they still want to grow. And as soon as we do this program with them that age, and we get them to stop the negative self-talk, because there's 9 strategies in cognitive behavior that we've used to help even kids as young as 10. We have to use slightly different strategies. It depends on the age, right? And also it depends on the brain. My brain did not like the elastic part of the replacement method, or my brain gravitated to a quick next slap shot, right? Or filter it for later. Why did I think about this? Was it the timing? Was I hungry? Was I in, right? So there's different methods to use to replace a good thought with a bad, or replace a bad thought with a good thought. So they would need quite a lot of that area, prepping. Yeah. And then once they control their thoughts though, they feel good, right? As soon as you give them their controllables, they're good. Yeah.
That's huge for women athletes, female athletes, is the feel good. Are you seeing a difference in the mental side of it with the genders? Is there a difference with the boys versus the girls, or some of your male versus female athletes?
Nope.
Split right
boys
down the
are
middle.
Just as down. Boys are just as sad. In fact, I'm going to say that boys might be feeling worse.
Yeah. They don't feel like they can talk about it. Yeah.
They don't verbalize. In fact, there was a new study that just came out that we are raising a silent generation, and we're raising silent children, and we are not expressing. And I mean, I have these OHL and AHL kids who are getting interviews and they don't know how to talk. And they don't know how to look at someone without unlike phones are away. Eye contact, pretend you're talking to me, listen to the question, think about what you want to say, and then say it in your interview, and always be like, we give them coaching, but yeah, it's becoming, I'd say actually the boys are worse off right now. Was it because of the pandemic? I'm actually going to say no. This was prior to the pandemic in my research. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that me personally.
Sorry?
I know me personally as an athlete, like I definitely internalized things and I didn't let things go. So I didn't process it later. So it would just stay in.
How to do that right at home, really quick in their journals at night, no phones in their room, right? So we replaced the no phones in the room with journaling, journal topics, their mental practice that they have to say, their mantras, because how you wake up is so powerful, but it all starts with what the last thing you say before you go to bed. So if you're saying, it's just science. So if you say, I'm a loser, I'm not good enough, that's how you're going to wake up and feel. But if you say, so little kids like, 10-year-olds will be like, I am Captain America. I am strong. I am fast, right? Little kid, like their little mantras are really cute. Yet I had a 20-year goal. Yeah, I'm Captain America. I'm like, okay. And I was like, but like whatever vibes with you, that's the best mantra that you should pick for yourself. So we have more personal growth mantras for the older kids, something like, I am resourceful. I am persistent. I will never give up. Those are powerful statements that, okay, what are you telling your brain? Well, did you know the more you tell your brain something, the more it actually happens mathematically?
The more it believes it.
So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily work because then I didn't win the lottery, but it like, but like if we tell our brain, like, I will swim 50 meters in this, I will put my serve right there, like whatever your sport is, if you're not thinking it in your visuals, if you're not seeing it in yourself, it actually muscle memory will not happen. It's actually a very neat psychophysio approach to training.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really cool because in college, I think was the first time I ever heard that, where someone in the dugout would be, hey, you know, don't strike out. And
okay,
our coach would, and our coach would instantly be like, let's try and flip that of, we all understand you don't want her to go in the box and strike out. But how about we say, let's go in there, attack the ball, put the ball in play. Because you get them thinking about striking out, they're going to think, whoa, am I swinging at the right pitch?
In baseball, it's about each, because baseball is different, right? Softball, baseball is different because it's not high speed contact like hockey, or like basketball's fairly fast, lacrosse is fast. Baseball is a one thought play, right? So play, I think next throw, next pitch, right? And it's, but then when something happens, it happens very quickly. So it's almost like you have to be on the fight or flight point during the game quite quickly, and then you can relax a bit. But I've noticed that with baseball players, if they're from a calm place of readiness, they're good. They're so good. You just have to get them there. And it takes some time, more than others. But I fully believe with parental support and education with parents, and we're actually helping coaches now to do this training, to actually have phone protocols for teams and tournaments and lock boxes for phones. Because now, I mean, you got NCAA players walking over and practicing checking their gambling. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't want you. I want someone who's actually going to want to be here.
Right.
And I'm like, you're replaceable to me. Fix it or you're replaceable. And we have kids who are 18. They look like they're 30, 7 feet tall, and they're on their phones for 12 hours a day, will not go to class. They can't be, I don't know how they're staying on these teams. I really don't. Right. And is that a value? Is the school valuing like this?
Is it just tolerated because they don't feel like they can do better?
That's a very good question. Why is it tolerated? I would say it's tolerated because that athlete is very good and the system wants to win and there's money involved. So there's where my thought process just...
Well, and then, you know, it's one of those things where an athlete, the more attention they draw themselves individually, the more attention it brings to the organization, the school, the, you know, whatever we're talking about. So, you know, I think the more popular athletes, you know, are going to get away with it a lot more because, you know, it's a financial game at that point. So.
When you're there, yes. But what's an interesting fact is that kids who have high social media use actually don't have the mental skills necessary to stay under pressure.
I believe that.
That's what we're finding, because their need to want attention, seek attention, show attention, actually, when we look at their results and their assessments, show us they're not confident, they're not happy, they lack the parts of their mental skill set to be able to handle those things. And so they're acting out where they can. And usually I'm very wary of someone who has a very, very high following. I'm very wary of that. So, yeah.
I feel like everything that we're discussing is, I know obviously we're talking about athletes, baseball specifically in our case, but like this is so much a society problem.
It's like, a huge crisis is what it is.
Well, and
our healthcare can't handle it.
Well, if you walk
here anyway, we can't handle it.
Well, walk through the restaurant. The next time that you're looking around at a restaurant, walk through a restaurant and see how many people, how many families are off their devices.
Don't tell me.
It's horrible.
I can't even think.
I mean, I have coaches and I have, people tell me, well, I just give my kid his tablet when we're at dinner. And I'm like, no, that's the most crucial time. Like involve them in the conversation.
That's when it's so fascinating you say that, because just the other day, one of the psychologists here actually she might be American, was on a podcast and said, the more a parent connects with their child without phones or any tech, the less likely the child will have a mental health disorder. So, because if you're bonding, if you're connecting, if you're hugging and being their landing mat, not their monologue, yelling, dialogue, nagging parent, they will want to be with you. And that's all they need. They just need you to be patient. Now, yes, there's discipline and there's boundaries and that's fine. But they just need to, and that's hard. Like, I have 3 kids. They're all athletic. Like, it's been hard. Parenting is not easy. I had to really navigate this digital thing. I had to revisit how I parented my daughter versus my boy. She's an introvert. Right? So I mean, I'm not perfect. I've made lots of mistakes, but at least I still sit there and I tried.
Well, I think that's what most parents are going to be sitting there thinking today is, okay, so how do I backtrack on some of the mistakes that I may have made with the digital, and how do I start to incorporate that when I've never had those boundaries before? Like, what would you tell that parent?
Actually, I would say that I get that a lot, actually. Thank you for that question. We actually tell them it's easier to start with a routine, like stick to a routine. Very easy. Docking station, simplify your life, because your kids will actually react to you, listen to their coach, and be more coachable if you set boundaries at home. Because right now, the majority of kids, the creeping percentage of kids that don't have boundaries, sorry, they don't know what a boundary looks like. They don't know how to behave. They don't know, they're boundaried because of school maybe, and a little bit of, go to bed, but then they go to bed with their phone, they're up till 1 a.m. So there's not a lot of boundaries. But the more a parent applies accountability, responsibility, and at a younger age, I tell you, these kids are like, I can spot them now in a tryout, like bam, bam, bam. Okay, I want them on my team. I don't even care if they play well. I want them because I can coach anyone.
Yeah, you can coach them. Yeah.
So I want the resilient kids who have the most social skills and who are confident and love themselves. And that only comes from good parenting.
Yeah.
Right. And that comes from those phone routines. Just get them in bed without their phones. Put a timer on your phone. Timers are like saved my life. Saved my kids have high grades. They're youth sport and they're competitive athletes. But now our athletes, for instance, a few of our athletes came to us with 10 hours a day of phone use. I asked their parents to help me at home. The parents were like, sure, this is hard. I'm like, yeah, but watch your kid. In 4 months, she made Team Canada.
Wow.
And one of them they all made their NCAA schools. Sorry, that one made Division I. Sorry. Oh. But they all made their programs after I worked with that team.
Has there been research on radio compared to like something visual?
Radio is far more intellectual for the brain. It's actually better to listen to a podcast or radio than it is to watching anything.
It's the more visual stuff. So I'm thinking of my family and how I can help my kids and Colton, my 10-year-old.
Audio that they listen to is far better than but remember, let's just place technology in a triage. Phones are the worst. iPhones, iPads, second. Gaming consoles, as long as you know who they're playing with and you control that and you can see who Johnny is and Johnny's playing with, you're good. But if you don't know, then I would really want to know. That's kind of addictive too. Yep. And dangerous. Phones, if you're setting them up to talk and text, that's great because they're not sitting there scrolling 7 hours a day. It's TikTok that's killing our generation of kids. They're just becoming delayed. Yeah. Instead of going out there and investing in themselves. And TV is actually fine because a lot of kids actually side play to TV. So the TV might be on to, what do you call, I don't know, pick a show. Barney. So Barney's there. and they'll play like, and little kids under 6 will play instead of looking at Barney because they just would rather play.
Yeah, she does. Callie does. She's very good at playing.
You'll play with Barbies. You'll play with dolls. You'll play, like they want to talk. And they want, like, how many tea parties I went to? Like, I'm like, oh God, like this. I want to go plant. I want to go run. I'm like, no, she needs me to play.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents growing up in this generation were a little bit all we don't like the term self-care. We actually like the term self-respect, because for our women and our men and our young athletes, it's not about, it becomes a selfish coin term, say the psychiatrist, into a narcissistic tendency. So we actually want them to feel their self-worth. You're worth this. You're not worth that.
That's right.
You are worth taking the time to work on yourself. You're worth the workout. You are worth self-respect. And we actually get them to self-talk 25% more a day in their brains.
Oh.
So I'm pretty proud of that. I'd like to get that up to 40. But that's our goal. It's small steps, Larissa. That's what I tell myself.
Well, so for the listeners out there and for us, because now obviously South Carolina is nowhere near close to where you're located. So how does that work remotely? How does someone in a South Carolina, Alabama, Florida, how do we take advantage of what the Mental Game Academy has to offer?
Actually, I think we have coaches that will go in person and do camps. We have coaches that will virtually teach your team, right? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of neat because it's like a Google Classroom class, so it's very interactive.
Okay.
And you have homework and you have things to do. You have a journal every day. So excuse me. It's actually kind of cool. I really like it.
Allie, how many weeks until you got Cooperstown?
We got 10 weeks till Cooperstown. I got about 6.5, 7 weeks until, the girls are headed to the nationals tournament. So maybe I can get some of my 16-year-olds working. I know as a high school teacher, as a substitute high school teacher and working with the 16U team, like those girls are always texting me random hours of the night or sending me random TikTok videos, or not TikTok because I don't have one, but Instagram, and just random plays from baseball on social media. And I'm like, why are you awake? Go to sleep. Like, so maybe we'll pass my 16U team off, see if we can get them working. But I'd love to figure out a way to incorporate my Cooperstown team and get our organization of girls just to get some self-talk. Cause I know I personally need that in my life. It's something that I do and have been working on.
Yeah, we can definitely do virtual. Sorry, I had a coughing fit.
You're good. I tried to talk for as long as I could.
You said you had COVID 2 weeks ago?
Oh yeah. Man.
It hangs around for a while.
Yeah, this last one.
This is
all respiratory. Feel bad for you.
I have a question. You mentioned a statement. Sorry. You mentioned a statement earlier that you train your athletes and teach them to understand who they are as an athlete, as opposed to someone else on the team.
First. Yeah.
And I think what I'm seeing with some of my players, even the boys that I work with, my nephew per se, he 16 years old, goes on social media, will see a pitcher pitch, and he's like, man, I want to try and throw that pitch. And he'll do it during practice. Oh, it doesn't work. Right back to Instagram. Finds a different pitcher, finds a different pitch, tries it. And that's how he got injured. Instead of realizing that he's not the Noah Syndergaard, he's a high school kid. So do you see any sort of social media presence playing a role in that, thinking these kids need to be better than they actually are at such a young age?
That's really fun. Hopefully I can talk now. Actually, what's happening, it's called the highlight reel. So kids go on and they see all these stars, these MLB, and they're like, cool. Or NBA, and they only see the highlights.
Yep.
They don't see the 10,000 hours that it takes to learn how to throw that pitch.
Yep.
Like literally, so we'll have NBA players we do camps with, and the kids are like, dunk. And he's like, no, we don't dunk unless we get a green light, unless we have this and this and we're ahead. And the kids are like, we don't want to do dribbling anymore. We don't want to do this anymore. And he's like, well, I do that 90% of my day.
Well, that's the same thing as the batting team.
Is this highlight reel discrepancy?
Yeah, kids don't want to hit off the tee anymore.
They don't want to work.
Yeah.
What? Sorry?
Kids don't want to hit off the tee anymore. They just want to see live pitching all the time. They want someone to throw you the ball.
Yeah. You can literally make that same comparison with everything. I can go on Instagram and look up 3 exercises for a shoulder that I think is going to be great for the next shoulder patient that I come in contact with. And it's like, no, just back off, go back to your basics, do what you need to do.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my husband is an emergency physician. And so when he has people come in and he's like, well, I'm on this medication, I'm not supposed to be on this. Sir, if I give you this medication, you have high blood pressure and you have angina and you're diabetic, it will kill you.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, I mean, do you think I just went to medical school on Google, or do you really think that I spent 15 years understanding the brain, the physiology, and the chemistry?
Right.
And it's like there's a respect that's been lost, I think, since the internet came out, where everybody thinks they know everything. And I mean, I'm still a professional. I mean, I'm 50 and I'm still learning everything. Mm-hmm. I don't know how anybody can think they know everything.
I know.
Like it's impossible, right?
Well, I think that's honestly, I think that's where a lot of frustration comes in for myself, is because everybody's an expert these days. And, and then their source is they. And then you say, well, who is they? Well, the internet.
Good response.
Then we stop looking at really what the doctors and the specialty, physicians are saying, and we're just looking at what they say. And
they're finding a self-biased opinion when they go to look at something. So you're always going to find something that follows your bias.
Right. That makes them feel good. Yeah.
Or that remotely some study that had 16 people in it might serve your opinion. Right. So I think the pandemic was something really important here that showed us in society how science is really quite important, and how weak our education here was actually teaching the statistics part of science. Right. Like that from my opinion. And what's the difference between viral and bacterial? And understand.
Don't get me started.
Right. So, but I think that let's go back to what you were saying, Erin. You were saying parents. What are your top 3 concerns when you're coaching and when you're working with parents?
Oh, when I'm working with parents?
Yeah.
It's really, do they feel my concerns are, do they feel like I have their kids' best interest in mind? And, am I going to be fair across the board? And really, are they going to walk away with something of value from spending time with me as a coach? Those are the things that I'm thinking,
That's because you're conscientious. That's because you're good at what you do. I can tell by your answer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because at the end of the day, that's what I want. But there's too many times where we see coaches and I don't know if you're familiar with the term daddy ball.
Really, but can you share that with me? I'd love to.
So, Jen, you should define daddy ball. That way it takes me out of the equation.
Okay. So that's when no matter the skills that your son has, he's going to play shortstop and he's going to bat 3rd or 4th in the lineup, no matter what. That's putting not necessarily the best team on the field, but your son, your assistant coach's son, and the president of the league's son on the field at all times.
Yeah. Well, and it's
okay. Okay. I got that.
It's just showing favoritism, and that's what we see. So in our landscape of youth baseball, what I've learned is over the past 10 to 15 years, what used to be because everyone played rec ball when I grew up, right? Everyone played in our recreation leagues.
Yeah.
Well, so now that's gotten, if I'm a serious parent about my son or my daughter playing ball, then I need them in travel ball as early as possible.
And your travel ball is like your competitive leagues?
Yes.
Like I'm just trying to make sure I get it's here all of a sudden you jump and there's like this major, there's insane baseball around here.
And that's what travel,
we're seeing. But they call it you can have an academy too, is right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just verbiage for the same thing. And anybody can start their own teams now. It's become so easy.
How is that possible?
Well, it's become so easy to start a new team. You have to go into a league.
You have to be accepted, right?
And that's not how the competition works. You buy in.
Yeah, you could just bring your team to a tournament. If you don't like how your kid is being coached, you can pull your kid off that team. You go find 8 other players and you take those kids to a tournament and you're a new team.
And that's because the parents believe that their kids should be playing more usually, and they go and make their own team. Am I firing this right here?
100%. Yep.
Okay.
Because they know
I always ask the why first, and then I speak out loud.
Because they think if they turn those kids over to a different coach, they're not going to get the same treatment. And
and usually it's the same.
But see, that's where we're watering down what used to be an elite level type of play. We're losing the community involvement. And like you said, we're seeing so much of, anger, frustration, fights.
Well, that's because they're all revved up. They need to go outside for 6 hours a day instead of being on their phones for 6 hours a day, like we used to back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, right? And as soon as that changed, behavior in schools, like principals are like, I spend 65% of my day mediating Snapchat instead of being with my teachers and helping with the curriculum or taking care of any of my paperwork. I'm like, so here's a solution. We ban phones in schools. In Europe, in Germany, you are not allowed to even get out a phone, or else you are in trouble, and your parents will. It's very disrespectful in Germany and in parts of England. France banned phones in schools because they're like, oh, hey, no, it stops us from talking. That's bad. And because the French are very vocal, very in your, like very social and very chatty, they're like, no, this is bad because all the kids weren't participating. It was like, boom, changed it.
Let me ask you a why.
Yeah.
So why has and I have to speak more from the American side of things, but why have we accepted that phones should be in school? Like, I still can't grasp the concept of why my child really needs a phone in school outside of the one-off extreme situations.
Why? It's heartbreaking to me, but it's leadership, because if I were the director of that board, it would be gone, because parents didn't go to teachers college and take my courses, my masters, take my neuroscience, take my psychology courses. They don't examine the research every day. They don't hear what's going on in the classrooms. Did you know that if we actually banned phones in schools, that children would we are actually falling behind in our standards? Now we're falling even further behind. And if we got rid of the tech, they'd actually, with all of the tools and technology we have now, we should be ahead. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty frightening statement.
Aaron, around here, when are they allowed to have phones? Because Colton's in 4th grade, so they don't. But when do they start?
I think middle school. It sort of becomes
that grade. Is that grade 6 for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's when they start getting their electronic devices usually issued from the school. So whether it's an AirPad or an iPad or a Chromebook or something like
And they take it home with them? That's something they're assigned?
You know that kids learn more actually on paper, writing twice as fast than they do with typing and going on tech that distracts them?
If I take notes and I handwrite it, I'm going to remember it. Yep.
So our brains have this. I have my brain. Where's my brain? Oh, one of the kids must have taken my brain. So I have this brain. So,
it's right there.
It was like, I know. But I had this active brain. So I have like the frontal lobe where the short-term memory is. And there's a wall here, imagine. And then there's this other part of the brain. So when we learn, all of our information goes right into the short-term memory right away. But unless we talk about it, write about it, and learn about it in another way, say it in another way, write about it, do it in some other way, it does not pass through the wall to the long-term memory where it becomes comprehended information. So right now, there's a lot of information. Everyone can memorize dumb facts. Because it's short-term memory. Yep. Right. And then if you keep saying them, then it becomes long-term memory. But if you don't say it again, it doesn't become long-term. So what we have is all of these short-term facts and all these short-term tidbits. But then when they go to study for grade 11 biology, they stopped thinking around metaphase and they didn't get anaphase and prophase. And I'm like, okay, we got a problem here, because if you want to go to medical school or in science, you kind of need to be able to pass grade 11 biology, right? And so now in my classrooms, when I was a teacher years ago, I was a behavioral consultant for boards. So I help reduce behavior in schools. So we actually take them through our programs, the kids, because, I could bore you with all this all day, but principals look after 10% of their population, 90% of their time that they deal with, right? The bad apples.
Yep.
But imagine if we worked with them, or you had an EC work with our program, and they got to talk about themselves, self-talk, stop their negative thoughts, learn how to be confident, learn how to regulate. All of a sudden, you have all this free time. And then if we took the phones away, you would have 65% back of your time, and you would not be stressful. And here we are losing our best teachers, our best coaches, and our best principals on a daily basis.
I wonder if that would even be something that would be considered today. Think about it, Jen, like you take it to a school board and say, no more phones. I wonder what the school board would
we do. They are coming up. We are working with schools that are doing that, but more schools will have to, because they can't survive this. Like they won't be able to survive this.
I'm wondering if, like, where does it start? What does it start with? What is step number one to getting that to happen?
I think parental,
because there's got to be, but there's got to be a group of people that do it. It can't just be one person. There's strength in numbers.
Of parents at each school that want better education, and for a leadership to go back to better values. Like it comes from the value system of leadership. What do you value in education? I can tell you it's not phones in my classroom, because I believe in the value system that we are there to mentally prepare, teach the curriculum, help a child feel like where they're going to fit in the world, and how are you going to do it productively? Right? That's a mission statement. But now they're like, let's just keep teachers in the schools, and that's a liability. And it's all around liability now, and keeping teachers in, but they're not even thinking about doing it. Because imagine, we're starting to teach this to teachers and unions, this program, to help the teachers deal with stress, to help the teachers prepare to work with the children that are coming at them that are not well behaved anymore.
What are you finding when you spend more time with established adults? Are you finding?
Oh, they're happier. They're just happier.
Well, are you finding
they're reducing their phone time, and they feel better about themselves? Okay. Yeah. And it's not just the phones. It's about what you're saying to yourself that makes you feel bad about yourself. Right? Yeah. So phones contribute. Like, okay, if we look at it, I have a graph, but if you look at, if you increase your phone use, you're also going to decrease your value of how you feel about yourself. The longer you spend on phone, they're going to become polar opposites.
Right.
So if we decrease the time on phones and we increase socialization, they become happier, and they're just so happy. And I'm so glad that the more we teach this to, the more athletes don't quit, the more athletes don't commit suicide, because this is actually, if you can't get into counseling, if you can't get into therapy, this is one program that in which we've got teammates. We're growing all over the world. We're in the UK, we're in soccer, we're in basketball, we're in football, I think we have fencing now. I mean, it's just because
that's awesome.
It's about helping the athletes. We've kind of missed the boat for 15 years in parenting and in education and in the phones. And it's basically been a nice little mixing bowl of just down the tubes.
Well, I could almost see, and tell me if you guys offer this now, but I could almost see like a program for a married couple, mom, dad, whoever says, look, I need an intervention. Like I need.
Yeah, we do that. Like I started this business as a parenting business before, like years ago, like 6-7 years ago. And then it gravitated. I was going more into the schools, and then with the pandemic that shut down. So I switched because I was already kind of going into, coaches were calling me and saying, can you like come work with our team? Like I want to win. That team's winning now. But it was because I got the buy-in. You have to have the leadership buy-in. Yep. The coaches, the coach, all of them. It can't be one of them, right? The parents need to buy in. But I believe that sports is a culture, and that when an association educates their parents, educates their coaches, and educates the athletes, you have a viable ecosystem that will grow. If you don't have that buy-in, one of the arms of that ecosystem and will just always give you problems. Yep. Always.
It's such a double-edged sword. It's such a double-edged sword because, like, where do you find those resources as people?
We got them.
Well,
we had them before.
But, what I mean is online. We're going to find them online. So it's like, we're spending more time researching and looking for stuff, but what are we doing that on? We're doing it on our phones.
You're right.
So
Oh, well, I see the jump there, but yeah, like directively now we are able to come to associations and train the coaches.
Yeah.
Provide it for the athletes and educate the parents. Like it only takes 8 weeks to 12 weeks. That's nothing. Right. And then when other associations are like, okay, we're done with the fighting in your baseball organization with the parents. So now if you want your child to be part of this association, I'm sorry, you're going to do 5 hours of courses to help our athletes at home. Because you're raising the standard of your association. We're going to be better because our parents are going to teach the mental skills at home. Our parents are going to help with the phones at home. Our parents are going to be better role models and know how to dialogue instead of monologue. If you just empower those, you help your coaches out a bit with this program and do the athletes, it'll just feel like you're all smart all of a sudden.
I love that.
That's what our athletes feel. Our athlete, she said she goes to school now and she's like, I feel so smart in my class. And I'm like, bam.
What you just said is actually very like, you know how to have a dialogue instead of just have a monologue.
Yeah.
And that
took me 10 years to figure it out.
That's genius because and people have to really, think about it, but like there should always be two-way conversation. There should always be two-way communication. And I feel like that's where our kids and our younger generation is getting the short end of the stick the most.
Because they don't even know how to express themselves back right now.
Right.
So coaches are like over here going, I want you to speak. I need you to speak. I need you to talk. I need you to express yourself. But you just do nothing. And I want you to do this and this and this. But it's like they're frozen and they won't be self-advocates. Because they don't really have to talk all day. They can get away with it. They don't know how. Report cards, the teachers were like, I want you to speak up in class. Before it was like, shut up, your kid talks too much. Now it's like, please speak up. Please talk. Teachers are like begging for kids to talk.
Yeah. Well, my wife's a kindergarten teacher with 30 kids in her classroom. So I think she would beg to differ with you on that one. But yes, that's true.
That's in a very impulsive stage before 8. So
you're right. Well, very cool. I'm going to tell you, like, I really want to find out more information. You and I were, talking before. I have an 8-year-old that really struggles with, fear of failure, those type of situations.
Well,
but
we can have a whole talk, another podcast just on that.
Well, and I see it with his teammates as well. And I see it throughout. So I think that leads for us to have an amazing part 2 right there, because that's our bread and butter when it comes to our show is, we talk to the parents, the coaches and the players. And, I think this is a great way to start educating.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we can definitely even do webinars for your parents. We can even do educational webinars.
Oh, that would be awesome.
We have so many different deliverable modalities now because of technology.
Right.
We're going down to different NCAA schools where we go down for 2 days. I teach all the girls soccer, all the boys soccer, and then we go back because it's like their time is so kept, right?
Yep.
So it's great. We're really flexible and there's like more of me, which is great. Yep. We're growing. We have psychologists. We have an amazing team. I love my teammates. Look, we have Olympic basketball coach, D1 Michigan hockey coach. We got athletic director from Yale. We got high school teachers. Like everyone has a degree. They have the experience and they're here because they love the kids and they just want them to be in sports.
Yeah, that's what matters. Well, look, every guest on our show answers the same question. And even though we've been off topic in this show, you're going to get the same question. So this is the most challenging question. So, all right. Now you're walking up to bat, baseball, softball today, or you're walking out to your event. What's your walkout song? What's that song that's going to get you ready for that next whistle and that next pitch?
Thunderstruck.
Oh, easy, good one.
There you go.
I just had to feel it. I was vibing it in my head. I heard it in the car, maybe because I heard it in the car the other day. I don't know. My kid was singing it. So
there we go. Hey, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Thank you so much for having me on. I love you guys. You're staying in sports. You're doing it for the kids and we need more of you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And if you can get us some information, we'll make sure to share this on all of our different social media channels. This episode, it'll be a few weeks before it's released, but as we prepare for that episode, we'll make sure to grab all that information from you. So
perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. And for all of our listeners out there, I hope you've stuck with us this entire time, took away a few little things that can help your athlete, your players, and your kids. So I think we would all agree, Larissa, that phones, play a part of the problem. Maybe not all of us are willing to say it's the whole problem, but I think, I think there's enough in this interview to make us all have a really question ourselves and rethink how we do things. So, thank you.
The change is coming. It's inevitable, right?
It's got to. It's sure got to. So, well, Jenn, any final thoughts, questions for Larissa before we let her go?
This was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I'm definitely going to do some looking into your website, your Instagram, and put some of the practice into my workday.
Yeah. And remember on Instagram, there's larissa.iparentjen. That's my parenting side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do me a favor and shoot us a message through that account so we can make sure to get you.
Awesome.
So,
this is great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, and for all of our listeners out there, again, hope you had a good time with us. If you've got a superstar, you got a coach, a player you'd love to have on the show, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to continue to spread the recognition and the positivity. So, but Jenn, until then,
we'll catch you on the slide.
We thank you for toughing it out and pushing through. Now, let's go teach the world great sportsmanship, leadership, to go inspire someone through your dedication and excitement for the game. Make sure to smash the like and follow button on all social media at the S.L.I.D.E Podcast Show and the S.L.I.D.E Pod on Twitter. Plus, leave us a review and feedback. Until next time, we'll catch ya on the slide.